Hello and welcome to the St. Paul's Catacombs. My name is David Cardona and I'm Senior Curator for Phoenician, Roman and Medieval sites, including this site here. Today we're here to talk about my favorite artifact, which in this case is what we call the pig cremation. Right? And this is nothing but the cremation of a young child surrounded by the remains of a pig, buried here in a special area of the St. Paul's Catacombs sometime around the 1st and 2nd century AD. The importance of this burial is that it allows us a clear snapshot of burials carried out between the 1st and 2nd centuries AD. And it is thus a clear portal to the intimacy of a burial, particularly of a child, carried out over here in that period. The significance of this object is not in its artistic value. In fact, if you look at it, it's not of great artistry, but its importance is in the data it can give us as archaeologists. In fact, it is one of only few burials of this type discovered here at the St. Paul's Catacombs, and we are talking here about a cremation of probably a young child placed in an urn of this type, which is an urn that is typical of Maltese cremations between the Punic and early Roman period. Such urns with the remains of young children were normally placed outside of the normal shaft and chamber tombs and buried in the soil up to the rim. And then it was closed by a plate like this, and sometimes an open lamp. It is not known whether the lamps were lit or not, but one of the running interpretations is that these were lit specifically to mark out the place of this burial. What is also important for us today is that this particular burial had the almost complete remains of a piglet buried around the urn. In fact, this piglet was almost complete except for the hind legs, which were probably given as an offering. However, we are not sure whether this offering was placed on the pyre as the body was being cremated or eaten in what we later come to know in the Roman period as the refrigerium, so a funeral meal to commemorate the dead being buried. Also of importance about this burial is that it is only one of the very few found in the Maltese island that have been documented scientifically. In fact, it is one of about 5 found here at the St. Paul's Catacombs, and outside the St. Paul's Catacombs we can literally count them on the fingers of one hand. And this is important because these burials at the St. Paul's Catacombs are being carried out in a specific area with material that is almost clean, without any artifacts, brought specifically for these type of burials, which include both cremated remains and inhumation within small amphora. The context in which this burial was carried out was a period where you could bury in various modes. However, most of the people in Malta were buried within shaft and chamber tombs, that is, tombs accessible through a deep shaft, rectangular shaft, through which one could access one or more burial chambers. These burial chambers then contained both inhumation, that is, the burial of the whole body, or cremations, which were then put in urns similar to the ones we have just seen. At the St. Paul's Catacombs, however, we are seeing something completely different. Apart from the fact that we still have the shaft and chamber tombs, we are also seeing burials of cremations and inhumations of small children outside of the tombs. Who knows, maybe this could have been a different ritual that was being carried out to differentiate adults from young children.